Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I hope you're having a great conference. My name's Brian Ganley. I'm a MISAC lifetime member. See a lot of friends and acquaintances in the room. I'm here today to introduce you to AgreeYa and the city of Fontana. They will be presenting Transforming City Operations Amidst Continued Disruption. Obviously, a topic that's popular because the room is packed. So I know this will be fantastic. Want to introduce Rami Assad from the city of Fontana. He'll be talking with us today. And from AgreeYa, Dave Adkins and Ankit Saxena. Want to give everybody a big round of applause, and then I'm going to kick it over to Dave to start us off.
All right, well, thank you, Brian, and welcome everyone. Okay, so our agenda today, real quickly, we're going to talk about what to expect from today's session, to talk about the challenges to digital government, and then more specifically, how Microsoft 365 can help. We'll then turn it over to Rami for a case study from the city of Fontana, and then we'll do a demo in the life, follow that up with some other case studies, do a conclusion, and then follow that up with Q&A. So let's get started. So what to expect from today's session. So this session is for city business leaders and IT business leaders, much like all of you are here. It's really for those of you seeking to become more agile, more responsive, enhance customer service, empower citizens, and ultimately reduce costs. So while working with many government organizations around the world, we've noticed common challenges they face when attempting transformation or digital transformation, as well as the strategies frequently employed by those who achieve success. So by sharing what we've learned here today, we're hoping to be able to provide new strategies for making digital transformation initiatives successful. Okay, so challenges to digital government. Okay, so here's the first interactive poll. How many of you out there can say that you have an unlimited budget and you can bring on any new software, any new skill set? Everyone's hands raised, right? So once we pass that the hurdle of the budget, next is the risk related to data privacy, compliance, and resilience. And after all, governments are dealing with sensitive data, so before rolling out new technology, governments must thoroughly vet that technology, maintains the highest standards in the regard, and provides proper control of their data. Training and upskilling. Training and upskilling existing workforce while attracting new talent remains a challenge, especially with increasing reliance on remote work and remote government. They must also ensure security, cybersecurity and resilience. Okay, so this brings us to key strategies for successful digital transformation. The number one is consolidating technology. Obviously, this is the major one that reduces your operational cost. Next one, empowering employees by giving them access to knowledge, information, and the flow of their work, where they would work, and the need to switch applications without losing attention. Third one's a big one, enable citizen developers. Another interactive poll. How many of you are aware of what a citizen developer is? One. Okay. So for those of you who don't, citizen developers essentially is an employee who creates application capabilities for consumption by themselves or others using tools that are not actively forbidden by IT or business units. So it's on you, leaders, essentially to unlock the potential of those employees. And lastly, and this is a no-brainer, provide self-service to your constituents. As Brian Kelly was mentioning, I think in the keynote, we've all come to expect to do most of our tasks using smartphones, like ordering Amazon or getting an Uber, and that automatically appears at our doorstep. So ultimately, our constituents are having the same expectations from our cities. They want to be able to use their phone to do most of their interactions with the city. And I know this is a tough challenge. However, we have good news. This segues me to Ankit, who's going to now and show you the how. Ankit?
Yeah, thank you, Dave, for providing those insights around digital transformation for the cities. So let me show you the how part, right? How actually some of the cities have utilized this and done this. What I'm going to show you here is a very high-level categorization right, of different sort of focus areas. But just before that, I want to know, like, how many of you here have heard about Microsoft 365? Great, almost everyone. How about how many of you have used or are using like any of the features? Do you know how many features are there part of Microsoft 365 or applications? Any guess? 10, 20, 100? Well, that would be sooner or later it would be there. But today we have about 59 features across 10 different categories that Microsoft has provided. So you may have G3 licenses, E3 licenses, any one license, but all these features comes with it, right? So once you have a license assigned, there's no additional cost that you're paying to utilize these services. And the good part is Microsoft is continuously pushing new and new features and applications. You don't need to worry about patching. You don't need to worry about getting new updates, new applications. It's all coming to you, right? The key thing, what Dave was mentioning, is building a strategy internally to how do you roll these things out? How do you make your employees and citizen developers familiar with these tools, implement governance structure around it, and utilize these effectively, right? That's some of the key things. All right, so let me just show you, give you a little insight on some of these workloads. So first, let's start with core, right? That's the core focus area. It sort of revolves around you as an individual. Of course, we all work extensively, right? And we cannot be productive and effective as a team member if we don't utilize our time, work effectively as an individual. So this core focus area revolves around you as an individual. Some of the key workloads, as you can see here, is Outlook, OneNote, OneDrive, to-dos, right? How do you manage your day-to-day work effectively utilizing some of these tools? The next one is the inner focus area. That's more for interactions between you and your closer groups or teams, right? With maybe within your department, peers. So like you may have chats, calls, voice, video, collaboration on like file sharing, online meetings. So that's where teams come in play, right? You may want to interact with your team members, collaborate as well as communicate. Planner, very interesting work tool to manage your task or your team's task on day-to-day basis. SharePoint has been there for a while, but SharePoint Online is the cloud version of Microsoft SharePoint. So of course, having those department sites collaborating with your users, peers on the sites. Then there is the outer focus area, which sort of brings in the company-wide visibility. So if you want to interact now beyond your department, which means I want to see policies, I want to see documents, manuals, guides, well, that's the place where all that happens. And again, some interesting workloads that can happen or play here are SharePoint intranet, right? SharePoint intranet brings all your departments together where that's like a face of your city or face of your organization. Yammer, doing engaging conversations, maybe more like social media, right? Teams is more of a formal, but Yammer is sort of more informal. Streams, you may have videos across the city, council videos and whatnot. Well, that's one place you upload the videos and then share it across the organization. And so on. And Delve is again a great product from Microsoft, bringing all the elements, all the useful information as personalized to you, right? Who you are working with on day-to-day basis. It captures it automatically and brings to you at one place. I'll be showing you some of these things in the demo, but let me move forward. And then finally, the open focus area, that's where you go beyond your city or beyond your organization. So you may want to interact with agencies, communicate, collaborate with agencies, vendors, other cities. Why not? Well, that can be done. There are multiple ways. Some of them are shown here, like LinkedIn, professional communities, but there are tools from Microsoft also, like Power Apps portals. That's a very new feature which is launched. You can expose sites publicly and your workers on the field, staff on field, can use those forms and fill up the data, submit back to the city users. Right? So this sort of shows you how what the power of Microsoft 365 applications, right? Giving you a context, so many applications, different use cases, when to use what for all these different needs. So with this, let me hand over to Rami from City of Fontana. He'll talk more about how about their transformational journey.
Good morning. Like Dave said, my name is Rami, and I'm one of the business analysts for Fontana. I'd like to share with you what we've done at Fontana to automate some things. Just like many of you and many other agencies, we're always looking to improve automation, workflows, processes, eliminate paperwork. So with that being said, in 2019, we moved over to Office 365, but we wanted to maximize our investment. We didn't want just an email exchange, Word and PowerPoint. We wanted to add more to that. We wanted to use all of the SharePoint features. We also wanted to use Power Apps and build onto this to automate things. When we first started, our CityNet or our intranet, and by the way, Fontana likes to brand things. It creates culture, it creates family, it creates teamwork. So you'll hear me say CityNet, I'm referring to our intranet. You'll hear me say Cybot, and I'm referring to our chatbot. So with that being said, just like Dave said, currently we can order food on our phones, we can order an Uber ride, and just like many other people or many other cities, you have 3 customers that come into your doors. One customer that wants to see you face to face, he or she wants to come into the building and interact with you. There's another customer that always wants to call you no matter what. And the third customer is pretty much all of us in this room who wants to interact with the city using a phone. And we're pretty much all of us are customers of a government agency, customers of the city, and even our employers. There's many times that we wonder, why is HR sending me an email of all the, holidays for the year? Why is there a PDF for all the holidays of the year? Why do I get an email every time there's a registration for a training, or I need to sign up for a registration for a training? Or why is there like a piece of paper at the end of the room that I need to sign so I can, show my presence at a training? So when we decided to change our intranet, we decided to automate as much as possible. That's one, for speed, to help employees do their day-to-day job. 2, we wanted to be self-sufficient. We wanted employees to be able to do their job and not having to call HR, having to call the service desk, or having to call other departments to get what they need. So we automated a lot of stuff. We did a lot of workflows using Power Apps. And I'll go into details about that. So this is our old intranet. It's a few pages long, and everything is links and PDFs. IT departments are no longer your burden to the budget department. They're no longer your support department. They are your partner, your business partners in the city. City leaders and city departments look to us as IT leaders for the innovation technology. They look to us for solutions, to provide them what they need to do their day-to-day jobs, to provide the citizens and the employees that Amazon Prime service. And I know it's hard, but you can do it if you use all of the tools that you have at your fingertips. We wanted to provide our employees with all the tools that's possible to make their job easy to provide that Amazon Prime service to our customers. Can we go to the next slide? So when we started thinking about changing the intranet from the old to the new, one thing we wanted to do was simplicity. Something where it's on the front page, you can find the news, you can find a chatbot, you can find a beautiful, easy layout to help the employees find what they're looking for to be able to help the citizens get what they need. So we built a intranet, and by the way, CityNet is our intranet. You'll hear me bounce back and forth. We built one that has a chatbot. And again, branding. We wanted our employees, when you brand something, they will like it. They will connect to it. Like, again, teamwork, family, calibration, building a culture. So our Cybot is our chatbot. That's the name. So you'll hear me go back and forth between Cybot and chatbot, but that's what I mean. So our Cybot will be able to, and it does, understand human language. Not only understand human language, but you can search For example, you can easily type, search the holiday calendar. It'll pop up the holiday calendar. Search rental car information. It'll give you the policy for the rental car information. Search anything you want that's on CityNet, and Chatbot will provide that to you within seconds. So that helped the employees get what they want. And not only that, if you don't want to type human language, there's a drop down. You can do a search contact, or you can always open an IT ticket by easily clicking on IT ticket. Chatbot will ask you a few questions, and that integrates with ServiceNow. So before this, people would have to log into ServiceNow, if you use ServiceNow, there's a few buttons you have to click and then add the description. This saved the employees 50% of their workload just by opening an IT ticket. And just in case you don't know that there's an IT ticket module on Chatbot, we added this feature that's on the front page and on the IT page, where all you have to do is just put in the subject and your description and submit. And then SharePoint will talk to ServiceNow and provide you with a confirmation and an IT ticket number. That alone, if you use any ticketing system, you know that this saved you 50% of your time from signing in and trying to fill out an IT ticket. Our city is big. We have 215 residents, which is a good sized city. We have about 600 full-time employees, about 400 to 500 part-time employees year-round. In the summer, we get up to 1,700 employees in total because of all the activities that we have going on, all the CSD activities and the swim program. So it's hard to know who's who. And just like other organizations, when you don't know who's at the police department, when you don't know who's at Public Works, it creates silos. We wanted to break these silos. We wanted the employees to know one another. We wanted them to put faces and names. So we added, and I'm just showing you a brief items that we have done. There's so much more you can do with this, with the Power Apps, with SharePoint, and all the tools that you have. But we added something, did you know? Did you know every time you refresh the page on CityNet, it goes to AD, pulls somebody from AD, it gives you their name, their picture, and their title. This is so we can help identify employees and employees to identify each other and get to put faces and names, not just names or even you don't even know who's at PD. And again, it's because we're all separated in different buildings, big city, even small cities. I worked for other cities where PD's in one department, Public Works is in one department, and IT's in a basement somewhere, and we don't connect with each other. The service desk is the one that knows everybody else, but the other groups don't know who's who. So what we also wanted to do was we want the employees to be informed of what's going on in the city. We added our YouTube channel, we added our council meeting, our parks meeting, our planning meeting, and we've also added all three of our social media feeds. This way the employees are up to date on what's going on in the city constantly. And not only that, earlier before when we had the front page, all the city news in terms of employee news, open enrollment is coming up, a lunch fair is coming up, and an employee, whatever it is, it's coming up. It's always on the front page. This way employees don't miss out. It's easy to lose information when it's all going through email, but this is all on CityNet, where employees, if they want something, one source of information, a correct source of information, an accurate source of information is there for them. Just like I mentioned, every department has an org chart. And again, we wanted to do that to build that team. When you know somebody, it's easier to get comfortable with them when you put a picture and the face. So we put an org chart on every division's page, and it trickles down from the IT director, my director sitting back there, all the way down to all the employees that are in the department. And it gives you information about them. It gives you their phone number, their email, and again, a job title and as well as a department. And this worked really well for us in terms of new employees and also new employee orientation. As a new employee, we've all been a new employee at one point or another. It's really hard to remember people's names, remember who does what, or who works where. And this has helped the new employees dramatically. We've also did things where on this is, by the way, this is as you can tell, it's the IT's homepage, guides and applications. So this, instead of having, on X Drive or V Drive or whatever it is, some PDFs, and you want people to go there and look at them, we have added the main applications that people use day to day. We've added step-by-step guides and guides for them for each application that the city uses. And this was really helpful for employees because all we had to do is tell them, hey, once we rolled out, for example, Legistar, go to the IT page on CityNet, and there's a guide for Legistar. Click on it, and there's pictures, step-by-step, of how to do it, as well as videos. Where with drives, shared drives, or even our old intranet, it was really hard to do something like that. I'm going to talk about this training hub because this training hub we built actually before COVID, but once we came into COVID, this training hub saved us. This was really, really helpful. Again, like I mentioned, we've all sat there where we wondered to ourselves, why is my employer sending me an email? Or why do I need to send an email about a training that's going on and then receive 100 emails back of who wants to attend, and then go into an Excel sheet and fill out the Excel sheet that John is coming, Katie's coming, and I don't know who. And then at the end of when the training happens, I have a sign-in sheet somewhere. We wanted to automate all of that. And this is just, one simple thing that we automated. AgreeYa had built this for us, but what's good about this and the benefit, and I'll talk about the benefits later, they've trained our developers to do Power Apps application so for us, the sky was the limit. This was the first item, which was the training hub, that's our brand name, that we created for our group. It's easier to tell people just go to the training hub. They built this for us, then they empowered our developers by showing them how to do other training hub, how to do reports, the back end of the system. And from there, we did the employee onboarding, we did purchasing items, we did a lot of things that helped our day-to-day process, automation, no more paper. So the training hub is really easy. Anybody in the city that has access to the training hub to create a training can go in and they can do a simple training registration or a little more advanced training registration. And I'm just going to go in a little bit of details if you guys don't mind.
Please.
Sure. So when you create a training, you can put the limit of how many people you want to sign up for that training. So now you don't have to keep count. The system will keep count for you. You can set one training to 80 people. You can set one training, because you have a small room maybe, to 20 people. And the system will close that training as soon as it reaches that limit. That's a pretty basic one. You can also go a little bit more advanced. There's some trainings that involve an outside agency to come in or an outside vendor to come in, and you have to pay that person. You might not have that budget, and you want to build the departments individually for that. All you have to do by a radio button is click add account number. So once you create the training and you email the training, people will click on that training. All they have to do is click a plus sign, and I don't see a plus sign here, but it's a plus sign for them on the other side over there. Once they do, they are automatically registered. If they have to add an account number, the system will flag them. You need to add an account number. All they have to do is add a valid account number. The trainer will get an email notifying them. He or she will also see them, and as you can see, total registered, total approved, status is completed, the duration of the training, the time of the training, the title of the training. As a trainer, I can approve somebody or deny them. Once I click the approve button, they'll get approval saying, hey, you got approved for a Microsoft Office training. This is a date, this is a time, and this is a trainer. If you got rejected, you can get rejected because maybe your account is invalid, or maybe you don't meet the criteria. It just depends on every city and every training. Most likely everybody gets approved. It just depends, again, what you want to do. On top of that, as a trainer, I can go in here and see how many people are registered and approved, and who are they. When the training occurs, instead of having a sign-in sheet next to the door, all I have to do as a trainer is click attended or absent. Present or absent. I forgot the exact terminology. And then this way, it's also, there's a system report that you run. Throughout the year, you can see if this, Microsoft Word was beneficial, if actually people are attending it, or whatever the training may be. It has a reporting to show who attended, who actually signed up but never attended, and how many people signed up for your trainings. So I just wanted to focus on the Training Hub because I thought that was really helpful before COVID and during COVID. We've used it very heavily. Here, I just wanted to touch point on citizen development, or we have 3 developers in our team, which is a very good thing. It's a blessing, actually. It's a luxury that we have, and our developers are awesome. They created something called the lobby registration. As soon as you walk into DSO or to community services or to finance, there's a tablet. You put your name and the reason why you're there. It pops up on the computer. You're next in line. So again, we want speed. We want self-sufficiency. We don't want people to log into multiple applications. So what we did was we embedded this on here. Now the director, the managers, and the employees can see the average wait time, the average face time. It's in their face, so they can't miss this. And this is just an example of one item that we're doing. We're doing multiple things. I don't need to, as a manager, log in to see what's the average wait time. That's, we're all busy. There's so much things that go on that we forget about things like this. But now, as this director right there, Phil, if he goes onto this page, he can see these average wait times. This is going up or this is going down. I need to find out what's going on and talk to my managers about this. So this is actually very helpful, and it helped us out a lot. And this is live. So the benefits, again, we did self-sufficiency. The employees, instead of, again, trying to find their email to find out how many holidays they're off or what day they're off on Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving lands on a Saturday and they're not sure if they're off on a Monday or off on a Friday or a Thursday. It's all there for them. So speed, self-sufficiency. We empowered our employees to help themselves and do their own thing. We empowered our developers to automate all of our flows, all of our PDFs that we've had. Anything that we've had, it's automated with workflows, and it's in the system. We did where it's one source of information. We've all been in that situation where, on X drive, there's this document. On I don't know what drive, there's the same document with different information, but with here, one source of information, one source or one copy, a true copy of documentation. And also, again, Fontana, we like to brand things, shirts, teamwork, everything. So we created a culture of calibration. We created a culture of something that we all refer to when we need something. And we also maximized our investment into Office 365 and SharePoint. It's not just our email server. It's not just our, apps that we go to on a day-to-day basis, but anything we need, we get information all the time where, hey, can you put this on CityNet? Recently, during a department head meeting, my director told me, hey, we want to not only spotlight all the employees in the city, but we want to spotlight a different employee. And I was like, what kind of employee? And she's like, I want to spotlight new employees. We want to give them their own spotlight. Now we know who's new to the city. And this is, again, to help get people familiar with one another, to help be self-sufficient. We look to CityNet for almost everything. And we continue to improve on it. And I think it's a great investment. And I think a lot of you should actually look into this. Thank you. I'll pass it back to Akne.
Thanks, Rami.
Thank you, Rami. That was great insights about the city. So as Rami mentioned, right, they're using CityNet for their day-to-day life, right? Whatever the work, they start their day with CityNet. So of course, SharePoint intranet is sort of your entry point to all your department data for all the communication needs from different departments, as well as citywide, right? But Microsoft has come up with Teams, right? Teams, we all use that. So Teams is also sort of a hub of framework for collaboration, right? So what if you can bring in your SharePoint intranet within Teams? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how day in the life of city user looks like using some of these different tools. So I'll walk you through SharePoint portal, intranet portal, which is embedded right within your Teams. So you start your day with Teams, right? And you look at how your day is, right? What are the meetings? What are the who has tagged you where? What items you want to do? What tasks are pending, right? You can also access the intranet from there, which is SharePoint based. I'll show you that. Like Rami mentioned, they have some apps which is created. So if those apps are there, how can you access the same apps right from within Teams or SharePoint? And then also showing you how you improve productivity and well-being using Viva experiences. So let me pull up the demo. While I'm doing that, are there any questions till now?
AgreeYa built the sidebot for us. We trained it. There's a list of questions and answers that you can load to it. There's a reporting system that you can see what are people asking it. When we first started, it was a little hard. People were asking it random questions like, what gender are you? What are you doing tonight? That kind of stuff. They were just goofing around. But we've added a lot of questions of day-to-day operations, things that we always think about. Where's the budget? Where's what days council meetings? Things like that. That's helpful. Where can I find my timesheet? We use an application for timesheet, so all it does is gives you the link. Here's where you can find your timesheet. They click on it, it takes them to the application where they can do their timesheets.
Okay, so I'm going to show you a demo, and this is just a sample intranet. It's called the Depot, right? But it can be branded as per your city's names and logos. And I'm going to act as Kathy here. I'm logged in with Kathy, and she's going to be the HR manager. So when I start my day, right, as I told you, you may want to start with Teams, right? So we are into Teams, right? So I start my day from there. And what I typically do is I would go to calendar just to see what meetings I have planned for the day, right? Day or the week. I can have all those views right from here. I can start new meetings. I can take a look at all the activity feeds. So if someone has mentioned me, they want to review some document, meet with me, I can do all that from here. I can collaborate within the teams and channels with different files, right? Teams gives you real-time co-authoring capability. Also, I can do chats and calls, which pretty much we all do all day long, right? Now, what if I want to get my SharePoint intranet? So I've built a SharePoint intranet, which has my landing page of the city and different department sites. What if I want to access that right within Teams? So that's where we have, there is a tab here. So that's the intranet, right within Teams. That's how I was able to access it. So there's a Viva Connections tab. What it does is it's giving you a framework to pull in your intranet right within your Teams. And it's giving you the same experience what you would see on SharePoint. So right here is the global navigation, which sort of remains consistent wherever I go. These may be links that you may want to use on day-to-day basis, right? But there are also department pages right in here. So if I want to access any of my department content, IT, HR, any other departments, I can very well navigate there. And what you see here is this navigation remains consistent, but there is a local navigation which changes depending on which department page I am on or site I am on. So these are all HR related links. The other part that I want to show here is there is a lot of course, engaging content what SharePoint provides, right? So the you as city users or administrators can use. So there is like different news, there is different keynotes. If I want to highlight keynotes to my users, I can do that right from this video that you see on the right. There is news and events. So all these news and events are actually aggregated from different departments to your landing page. So example here, these three news are coming from the Depot, which is this site, but there is a news which is coming right from the HR. Similarly, there are events which are aggregated from different departments. This leave event is coming from the HR department, from the leave calendar. And content authors, they can choose what they want to show right at the landing page to all the users, what they want to keep it just for their department users. So that's all configurable. Additionally, I mean, as you can see, we talked about streams. So there are different videos that I want to showcase here, right? So you can have videos, trainings and whatnot showcased and accessible right on the intranet. Another interesting thing that you see here, few more things that I want to show is my page. So what if I want to have some content which is personalized to me? I want to showcase that, right? So there is example of this my page link here, which is again accessible to all users from anywhere in their intranet. They can go to this my page, and this would serve content specifically personalized for that logged in user. So what content I'm seeing here, like these dashboards, these are again, some of these are coming from Viva, which is like integrating different data and applications right into this view. So as an example, I want to see what my how many leaves are available for me, right? Maybe from my workday, and I want to maybe submit a time off. So I can do that right from here. I don't need to go to any other application or to page. I go to my page, I access all my application, and I can submit this form right from here. Similarly, I want to attend a training, some FAQs around maybe Office 365. Again, I can do that here. Holiday list, right? These are all different dashboards that I can. It sort of pops up right here, so it's not navigating you from that page, but you can see those right here. Pay stubs, right? Pay slips. So again, some things that I want to pull from my Paycom or so like a tool like that. Again, that's doable right from here. Similarly, giving you some other examples. Well, what if I want to see teams within my intranet? This is like another component that is there, which will show you what teams you're part of. My systems, all of us being part of City, we leverage a lot of application, third party and City applications. So this is an interesting functionality where it shows what systems I access, right? I can customize this list based on my preferences. So I can actually go to customize and I can add or remove systems that I want to use. So I can organize those very well right here. It's just not showing pretty well, but I can actually move all these, right? I can move these up and down and so on. Few other examples that I want to show. Well, when a new employee joins into the City, they have different departments, policies that they want to review, fill up a lot of forms. So this is a typical example where I want to aggregate all the content at one place. So some manuals and documents are coming from HR, some are coming from the IT department. But for user, they just have one place to go, fill out everything. And so this is just, again, a very interesting feature right here. Few more things that I want to show is training portal. So what if your users want to attend some trainings around Microsoft 365? There are so many things we saw. How do you know when to use what, right? One of the way is using this training portal, which is again part of your intranet. So, and this has trainings which are available to you across any topic around Microsoft 365. So as you can see, it's categorized based on the scenarios, remote work, modern workplace, security, or even I can go into any of these workloads and I can start these trainings, right? These are self-paced trainings that are available to you. There's another way. What if I'm still not getting a response? Like Rami mentioned, they're using Cybot. So here is a typical example of Cybot, right? Or a chatbot where I can open the chatbot and I can ask questions to this chatbot, right? It understands who I am. So I can type something and it would know who I am because it's logged in, right? It's pulling from the AD. I can also type in some questions like, how do I create a team? Right? And it should respond back to me with a response with some steps. It can include some text, it can include video, audio, or URL. Right? It can even pull up the policies. What if I want to say do some my system is slow? Typically, what happens is a lot of users reach out to you. Well, my system is really slow. Please help me. Well, I can say that level of self-service is also in there. So I can say my system is slow. It would give you some steps that okay, please try closing the programs. I said yeah, I tried that. Try cleaning your temporary files. Typically, this is how you troubleshoot with the user. Right? And I'm saying, well, it's still not helping me. So what it gave me is right here, it gave me a form. Okay, this is your issue. Please enter your description and hit submit. And what will happen here is it would submit a ticket to the help desk for you, right? And you will get an email and someone from the help desk will get this conversation with the user and then they can take it forward from there. Okay. the next thing that I want to show you is the same thing actually can also be leveraged via SharePoint, right? As you know, this is a SharePoint intranet. So once I open this tab, so this is the SharePoint experience of the same portal, right? And it's giving you the same experience. So you can use this from SharePoint, from Teams, as well as from phone. Let me just show you a quick 1-minute demo of how the same thing looks from from phone. So I'm just going to pull up, and I'm going to open the Teams app, right? So here, as an example, this is the Teams app, and so as you can see, I'm going to Viva connections right from here. And it sort of brought the same dashboard that you were seeing on the web, right? So the PTO, the trainings, and all those experiences, that's my dashboard experiences. There is the feed. These are all the different news that you were seeing. So all the feed is exposed right here. As well as the resources, this is giving that top level navigation for all the different department sites. So if I want to say access a department, or if I want to access the training portal, I can do that, and it's all responsive. So it's all built for this mobile. So you'll see that the components stack one below each other, right? As well as there is that chatbot. It's not visible here, but if I open that, the chatbot would also be available in the mobile experience, right? So users can on the go work on their intranet right within Teams, use the chatbot, ask any questions, and it sort of combines that modern engaging experience. So just want to summarize, as you can see, empowering the users, right, to use some of these modern tools, that definitely helps users building an engaging collaborative experience. One more thing I think which I wanted to show is just quickly, these are some of the integration like that we talked about, Rami talked about, right? So if I have a Power Apps and I want to integrate right within Teams within my intranet, this is an example of like general working arrangement form. So I may be a remote worker, and I may want to submit a hybrid work week arrangement that I'm working 2 days on site, 2 days off site, right? So I can do that right from this form. So I can select, well, I'm working on a hybrid schedule or 100% off site and offshore, and then I can submit it. It goes to my manager, they approve it, and the request is taken care of, right? Just another example of automation. So with that, I think I'll hand it over back to Dave.
All right, Ankit, awesome demo. I especially like the training, the HR portal with the links to the Microsoft 365 training, as well as the chatbot, and all of that embedded into your phone as well. And also, Rami, thank you for providing a peek into the city of Fontana. That was wonderful to see all of the work that was done there. And so, folks, I guess to summarize today's presentation, Microsoft 365 provides you the means to transform city operations by empowering your workforce, by providing the information, the tools, and the skills necessary to provide enhanced digital services to your employees and constituents, all with the highest standards of security and compliance. I truly hope you have found this session useful, and I open it and would willingly like to see any questions.
I missed the first part, so I really apologize. But I'm Gaurav Garg from the city of Santa Clara, and that's amazing what IT delivered, and AgreeYa, you guys worked together. That's fantastic. I'm just very impressed about the whole thing. So I have several questions. I'm just going to read off the questions, answer anything that sticks, or we can talk offline. So how did you do the initial requirements gathering and user design? Because you obviously had a clear vision of what you wanted. And so when you developed your RFP, was it clear enough for then the vendor to then go and put together a good dollar priced response when you went to RFP? We have multiple vendors. Was there enough specificity there where you were comparing apples to apples as you did that selection process? So let me finish my questions, and you can. How long did it take to deliver? How much did it cost? You don't have to tell us that, but just general idea of how big is this slice of bread, and really how much was you versus how much was AgreeYa in this whole delivery?
Okay, so it was a teamwork on both sides, AgreeYa and City of Fontana. Definitely, all of the business part was on Fontana. We had a vision of our own. We involved our department, different divisions from our department, IT, We analyzed, again, what do we want for the employees? We provide cybot or chatbot for the public. Why cannot we provide it for the employees as well? We were looking for something simple. Just like many of you, we have users that are really good at computers, at technology, and they want to deal with this. And they're the ones that are saying, hey, why are you sending me a PDF? Why are you doing this? We want something better. And then we have users that they're very challenged, and they're always at service desk or opening tickets and stuff like that because of user error. So we were trying to find middle ground, make it very easy for everybody, but at the same time provide, that service that people get, that we get today with the private field, whether it's ordering a ride or food or whatever it is. So it was a long time, and I want to say a few months of gathering data, gathering what we want to do, putting a vision together. What we did was a design of how we want it, and pretty much features of what we want. We did go for RFP. I don't remember what the pricing was. It's been a few years. Go live was, I believe, it took 6 months or less. I don't know the exact date, but it was somewhere on there. Do you remember, Jennifer? Okay. But it was something like that. And I'm sure, just like a lot of the sessions you heard today, it used to take longer to do things, but with COVID, it changed our perspective. So some things can go faster than 6 months, right? And if I had the statistics or access to my computer, I would have given you all this information. What we wanted to do was have AgreeYa come in, build this, but we didn't want to rely on an outside vendor all the time. We wanted our own staff, our own developers, and we have site coordinators, whether it's the website coordinator or the intranet coordinator, to do these updates. So we wanted something that's easy on the back end for them to do this update. That was also one of the requirements. So in terms of updating the CityNet all the time, we rely on our website coordinators and one IT person in-house to make sure that they're doing it correctly. If they need training, he or she can train them, and make sure that we're all in uniform. That's what matters the most. Same colors, same fonts, same everything. I don't remember a price. Otherwise, I would have given you one.
Thanks, Rami. Any other questions?
Hi, Helen from City of Oxnard. I have a question on integrations. So are your integrations relying upon connectors that are already defined, or can you consume bidirectional APIs through Power Apps?
It's a mix of both. So if the connector is available, we consume that. If not, we can build custom connectors as well. But these are all API based, typically REST API based. So that's how we can integrate to and fro.
Did Fontana build any APIs yourselves, or REST APIs for data exchange between other applications and your intranet?
We have an API with the ServiceNow, yeah.
And did you build that in-house, or did the vendor build that for you?
That was part of the vendor. That was that was one thing that was part of the criteria to start off with the CityNet, to have ServiceNow integrated. And as many of you use ServiceNow, you understand you have to log into ServiceNow. We wanted to eliminate that login. We wanted to make it very easy to users. Just give me two things: description and a title, and ServiceNow will create that ticket for you.
So as long as your source system has an API that's available, you can bring that data in.
Absolutely.
That's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Okay, well, this concludes our session. We truly thank you for coming, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.